Hello and welcome back to Icebeam Gaming's Month of Valentine's Every Hole is a Goal Spectacular. Last episode we did a little dance and got a promotion. Today's episode, we get to figure out what our mission is going to be. Without further ado, let's get started. I wink at myself before pressing the button, bringing up today's schedule. Breakfast in the mess hall. Advanced classes, guns, small arms locker 4, startup imperialism, academy auditorium 3. Is that all? I tap the screen a couple times, try refreshing the display. That seems odd. I head out to the mess hall. I'll figure it out on the way. I get in line and grab my tray. Oh, I know who I'll ask. He's right there, working the lunch counter as usual. Hey Darian F19, can I ask you a question? He pours a healthy serving of slop into the bowl and passes it to the brother before me before answering. I heard congratulations were in order after your little stunt yesterday. He looks me in the eye. Sure, what's on your mind? So this morning, after breakfast, it looks like I've got 2 classes, but they seem to be scheduled at the same time. He considers this for a minute. The Horatios in line start muttering, but he pays them no heed. You know, unless someone actively tampered with the system, it's not supposed to double book you for classes. I don't suppose you'd have done anything to piss anybody off. This makes me frown. Have I 8 enemies here? The grumbling from the brothers in line gets louder. They'll wait. Change the subject. Hey, where's the officer's mess, by the way? He shrugs. I've never been assigned there. Anyway, I don't think you're allowed in there until your probationary period ends. For the classes, looks like you'll have to make a choice on which one you want to go to. He hands me a bowl of slop. Would you like something to spice this up? I shoot him a death glare, grab my bowl and go. I just take a little bit of the spice. He said that it only really burns you if it's in an extortionate amount. A small amount should be fine. I eat in silence, considering my options. Guns. Sounds like something Extras B12 would teach. Startup imperialism sounds like something Aeternus PO2 kind of thing. What classes do I want to attend? You know, guns seems like it would be the more fun, rootin' tootin' shootin' option. But I might go with imperialism. A rise in power and whatnot, even though I don't have any idea where I am. My decision is made. I get up and exit the room, leaving my bowl on the table. This is the same auditorium we usually have classes in. I usually sit at the back, but this time it's going to be different. I sit in the front. This elicits some grumbling from the brother who usually sits there. But who cares about him? I'm here to get the lowdown on how you make the magic happen. Aeternus PO2 is a good few minutes late to the class, which I find pretty bothersome considering that he is the one teaching it. Still, nobody moves, and we barely make a noise, waiting for him. On each side of me, classmates look over their shoulders to check if he hasn't appeared yet, in case he'd be watching us from under the arcades. When he finally appears, an unfortunate soul somewhere behind me lets out a gasp, quickly suppressed by snickers from the classmates around him. At least this time, I'm not the target. Welcome to Startup Imperialism. The lesson started 12 minutes ago. Since then, what have we learned? I think to myself that if you're in charge, you can afford to be late. But no better than to say it aloud. No one says anything. Again, it seems no one is willing to stand out. What about you, Pizzazz F21? Have you learned anything yet? That's what I get for sitting up front. I could make a joke and say, if you sit in front, you're gonna get tested, or I could say, if you're in charge, you can afford to be late. I'm going to go with that. Well, I said it. I shrink ever so slightly into my seat while looking at him, but Aternus PO2 just gives me one of his sideways smiles. That is one way to put it. Indeed, if you are in charge, you can afford to be late. For the purposes of this exercise, all of you represented the Empire, and I represented him. Note how, in the absence of instructions to the contrary, nobody here did anything, said anything, or took any otherwise untold initiative. Respect for the leader and force of habit have ensured that things muddled along until I showed myself. The takeaway from this lesson is that in a perfect society, the habit of coercion, the fear of repression, can be as strong in incentive as coercion and representation, repression can be as strong an incentive as coercion and repression themselves. In many ways, you can expect that the population itself will uphold your rules. Good one, Pizzazz F21. He smiles at me. It makes me feel funny. It makes me feel special, or it makes me feel like a target. Well, if I'm to fit in, it's gonna make me feel special. I'm not sure why I blush, but I guess the combination of praise and the look he gives me contributed to it. Now, let us address the title of the class. Startup Imperialism. Poetic, isn't it? The Horatio Empire, crown jewel of the galaxy, is what you could call a startup that made it. An enterprising entrepreneur defying the odds, luck and pluck on his side, setting off into the unknown for an idea he believed in. He saw the old conventional ways of building an empire and decided he would improve them. He would disrupt them. He is capitalized like that of a god. Back in the day, they did not exactly require processes to make sure everything went accordingly to plan. Once the empire got going, onboarding was made trivial, since, of course, new brothers received the memories he gave them. This process, however, did not occur in reverse, as there was no way, ethically or technically, to upload non-prime memories to his consciousness. For a while, things muddled along just fine, as everyone did as he would. But then, situations became more complex, and the need for a stricter hierarchy emerged. He had the genius idea to make an empire a meritocracy, where true contributions and value are rewarded, and where achievements are the only thing that matters. Thanks to this watershed moment of the Empire, constellations are now divided in systems. Man, my stutter's starting to come on, so I'm gonna actually need to get a drink. Quick drink break. Be right back. Alright. Back with a nice warm brew. English breakfast. One of my top 2 favorite types of tea. Alongside vanilla chai. Anyways, where were we? Gonna take a quick sip. Alright. Thanks to this watershed moment for the Empire, constellations are now divided in systems. Below this level, planets and space stations each have their own hierarchy, ensuring a smooth transmission of orders down the chain of command. As the Grand Headmaster of this academy, I am the local authority. You are obviously somewhere below. How far down depends on you. Any questions? He looks at us intently, and I could feel his gaze brush against me before he resumes. Moving on, let us talk about trickle-down glorinomics. What a great thing to name something. Trickle-down economics doesn't work as a concept. I'm gonna guess trickle-down glorinomics doesn't work either. I can feel my classmates shift around me uneasily. What's going on? Can any me here tell the class what trickle-down glorinomics are? It is a concept you should all be familiar with, but the name is new. He paces leisurely on the stage, making show of waiting for an answer. After a moment, he stops and points at someone behind me. Yes? The unseen classmate speaks up. Is it something to do with famocracy? Famocracy. These made-up words are getting me. Famocracy is also a great thing, because it's another thing that America does, except with fame in the name. Yes, indeed. Good job. You. The underlying philosophy has not changed at all, but the way the concept was framed created a few problems. Most notably, famocracy had an undercurrent of fame means power, which sent the wrong message. Instead of recognizing the true meaning of the most prominent among us has to be the one leading us, it made it sound like one could attain that position of power through fame. That is, of course, completely antithetic to the underlying tenets of his empire for reasons we will now see. Here moves the portable polypad and starts typing. The lesson ends a solid hour later. I am utterly exhausted. Another sip. Alright. I did my best to participate, or I tried to blend in. I'll do my best to participate. Better to learn through doing than to just avoid learning while trying. Because at least if I do it right, then I'll have it ingrained. I looked Aeternus PO2 in the eye and tried to participate as often as I could, when I knew the answer or had a sure enough guess. I may have been slightly off the mark a couple of times, but he somehow managed to reconnect it to the question and made my way. My classmates file out of the auditorium. I'm about to join them in line while I feel a presence next to me. Good lesson today, wouldn't you say so, Pizzazz F21? A most excellent lesson, sir. Or it was alright. I'll say it's most excellent lesson. Hey, if I could get into the bone zone with him, at least I'm getting with someone. Someone powerful. Ugh. A most excellent lesson, sir. I particularly enjoyed our bit of repartee at the start. He gives me a knowing nod and flashes another of his devilish smiles. To say that his teeth are perfect is an understatement. As did I. These lessons can be very dull affairs if I am talking to a silent class. Anyway, I look forward to more lessons with you, Pizzazz. I am pleased you decided to step up, as you are quickly becoming one of my favorite students. I might have said before, but we might do something with you yet. Did I say that right? Might have said before. Yeah, I said it right. I turn a very nice shade of pink, but say nothing. I look around my new quarters as I step through the door. It doesn't feel like home yet, but I guess things I can't right-click. I so easily right-click. Sorry about that. It doesn't feel like home yet, but I guess things change fast around here. I feel drained by from my day. The pictures on the wall are smiling at me. It is oddly comforting. I fiddle with the holoscreen for a moment, checking tomorrow's schedule. Looks like the big item of the day is another dance class. It is simply called dance, rather than an understated fashion. In a rather understated fashion, yeah. The last time I attempted dancing, it went moderately well, but hey, that's a problem for another day. I survived today, I'll do my best tomorrow. I lay down on my bed and close my eyes. This time, my sleep is peaceful. The dance lesson is about to start. This is a smaller area of the concourse, off to one side and away from the foot traffic. The setting fits the occasion, as there are far fewer of my classmates here. It's about a dozen clones all told, including my classmates. Headmaster, Aternus PO2, and strangely, Master Sergeant Extras B12. This is a new dance that has taken the court by storm. Our beloved benevolent brother loves it. Being new, it is pretty different from what you are accustomed to. There are no expectations of success for any of you going on. However, it will be the dance we perform when he comes to review the cadets. So make sure you do not embarrass me, lest you suffer the consequences. This dance is called La Volta. It is a dance for couples. I can hear appreciative ahs coming from all around me. A couple dance, how boring, or there is someone I'd like to get closer with. Alright, let's do that one. In this dance, the partners salute each other in a saunteur, a deliberately slow skipping, parading for the benefit of the audience and showing their fitness. Then they get closer to one another and pivot around the center point. The leader is facing the follower and puts his hands on each of the follower's hips. The follower is facing the leader's right and places his closest hand on the leader's shoulders. Both turn around the same spot by walking forward. Every 3 steps, the leader lifts the follower into the air to display his strength and show his partner to the audience. He pauses. It is of utmost importance that you lift me as high as you can, of course. The follower must follow the leader and spring just before he lifts to ensure maximum effect. Repeat this simple sequence until the music stops. Salute. Simple as can be. This time, with actual instructions, it does seem pretty simple. I do not remember a single one of those instructions because there's too many of them. I am terrible at dancing in real life, probably the same in-game. I mean, I hope I won't make a fool of myself again, but it sounds fairly straightforward. You prance about, and then grab your partner and lift him into the air a bunch. Aternus PO2 turns to me. Thyself 21, are you feeling confident enough to lead a couple? Yes, sir. Impressive. You may pick a partner. Oh, wow. Just like that, huh? Let's see. Extras or Aternus? Well, I'm getting on with Aternus more than I am with Extras. I've barely talked to Extras, so I guess Aternus. I choose you, sir. He merely nods. One after the other, the rest of the class, the rest of the dancers select a partner. Extra Speed 12 pairs off with one of my classmates, who seems overjoyed. We form 2 concentric circles, with the leaders on the outside. Aternus PO2 reaches down to the holopad on his belt, presses a button, and the music starts. I'm just a tad nervous. We salute and start circling each other, making sure to show off our clothes to an absent audience. I realize that next to Aternus PO2, my uniform is a little underwhelming. Are there dress uniforms for the probationary officers? I've got to look into that. He is, of course, resplendent and immaculate. We step closer, and I put my hands on his hips. I feel his hand alight on my shoulder, which he does without looking. He is staring straight ahead at the imaginary court, which puzzles me just long enough to miss the first beat. His eyes flick to me, and I hurry it to catch up. 2, 3, and lift. I tighten my grip at Aternus PO2's hips and raise him. He feels light as a feather in my hand. The lift lasts only for a second, and then I put him down. He touches down with consummate elegance, and graces me with a sultry look. He squeezes my shoulder. My heart flutters, and I breathe in deeply to stop myself from turning red. It almost works. 2, 3, and lift. Aternus PO2 feels light in my hands. Feels so light in my hands that it's like I'm raising the idea of him, as opposed to his actual body. I push him in the air a bit higher and put him down. You are a natural, Pizzazz F21. I wonder if there's anything you cannot do. Say something flirty or pretend not to hear. Let's say something flirty. Get together with the big guy. I search my brain for something good. Good. That's great, but that seems a bit awkward. You'd be surprised, sir. I'm eager to impress you, sir. It's between these two. You'd be surprised, sir. Would probably be the one that I'd go with. Oh, but I do love surprises. I did not expect him to whisper this in my ear, and both the words and the feeling of his breath make my ear tingle. He gives me another look of his looks, and for a moment I am lost in the drowning pool of his eyes. Catch up? Whoops, 2, 3, and lift. I hold him up for as long as I can and put him down slightly late on the beat. We step away from each other and salute. I am looking forward to more of these surprises. My head is spinning slightly, and I'm all red in the cheek, which is unseemly for one of us. This, however, was immensely fun and fairly enlightening. We all salute one another, and Aternus PO2 leads a round of polite clapping. Everme seems very pleased with themselves. After all these emotions, I decide to head home and relax. Hey there, and thanks for watching Icebane Gaming's month of Valentine's Every Hole is a Goal Spectacular. In today's episode, we became something of the teacher's pet. The next episode, let's aim to get a little closer. Anywho, like, comment, subscribe if that's your sort of thing, and I'll see you in the next time. Bye now.